What's up, gamers? No, we shouldn't call you guys, but yeah, we're gonna react to another more official divine video. Yep, official divine. It's good video. Okay, let's get to it. Just see what you want.
The Scarlet King. The SCP Foundation is a secret global organization that works to identify, capture, and contain anomalies or cosmic entities to prevent harm to humanity. Each anomaly within the SCP Foundation is assigned a unique number as it's accompanied by a detailed description, containment procedures, and its backstory. But diving into the dark depths of the SCP Foundation...
Who's SCP-343? You guys will learn also like me. And SCP-343 commonly referred to as God. It's a safe class and monolithic entity residing in a minimum security humanoid containment cell at site safety. He appears as an elderly, cheerful man who claims to have created the universe. He can walk through walls and warp reality at will. Through his motives and through identity remain heavily debated. Yeah. So yeah, guys, you can search it you guys yourself. Yeah. So yeah, yes, this is SCP-343. Bro, what the hell? This is literally SCP-343. Yeah. Okay.
We find a file on a cosmic entity that is painted in red and hails as King. SCP-001, the King of Darkness below, an elder god that crawled into the darkness of the abyss outside of the universe, has become attached to it. It has become aware of all the pain and loneliness throughout all of creation, with its goal to end all of existence that God created, and the very concept of pain with it, with SCP-001 waging war on creation itself, and a plan to destroy the Tree of Knowledge, with the Tree of Knowledge being a cosmic tree that transcends the entire multiverse of the SCP world, and contains over 196 dimensions. Even the strongest of the Elder Gods can't measure up to his strength. Even these higher dimensional beings that exist beyond all of space and time have no choice but to bow before a demon that views all of creation.
Okay, where's Scarlet King, bro? The Scarlet King. The Scarlet King. The Scarlet King. Wait, let me just answer some few questions. Is he capture? Only focus on the okay.
From a vantage point that no one can perceive, giving himself the name, the King of Darkness below. With his overwhelming strength, he's able to create warriors with powers that we can't even comprehend. Beings like SCP able to create warriors with powers that we can't even comprehend. Beings like SCP-682, which is an entity that can literally adapt to anything, or basically the Maharaja of the SCP universe, with this entity using his army of Leviathans to march upon the tree. And one
even the Scarlet King knows is to bow down and pray mercy for God. What is a king to a god? Bro, this is actually true, bro. This is actually so true. What is this, a king to a god? Even the Scarlet King knows better to this.
Once they were all assembled, his army shook all of creation once they were awoken. Many beings and many gods fell in the battle, but it was all in vain, as the Scarlet King won, obtaining his goal to turn all of creation to ash as the noosphere turns on itself. With the noosphere being a platonic realm that houses human conceptions, ideas, and thoughts, with the tree itself being reduced to nothingness by the Scarlet King, with the cosmology below holding trans-finite universes, which is sets of infinity stacked on top of itself, as they state that there is an infinite chain of universes, with each one containing an infinite fractal
I
hierarchy.
keep forgetting what's a finite. What is a finite? Has an end, a limit, or fixed boundary. Ah, so this is what a finite. It's the opposite, okay.
Of space-times. You're probably thinking, how can there be infinite fractal hierarchy of a chain of universes stacked on top of its finite universes, which is sets of infinity stacked on top of itself, as they state that there is an infinite chain of universes, with each one containing an infinite fractal hierarchy of space-times. You're probably thinking, how can there be anything larger than infinity itself? So let's put it in a way for you to understand. Let's say that there was a box that holds all even numbers, and there's another box that holds all odd numbers. However, there's a third box that contains all real numbers. You can see how this third box is larger, as it's the combination of both infinities. There are an infinite amount of chains within this hierarchy, with there being infinite layers of existence, innumerable layers of non-existence, and numberless layers of transcendent realities. Even with SCP-343 being a hyperlogical memeplex and a child of the Scarlet King, not being bounded by any of the laws of logic that God set forth himself, as he holds abstract concepts themselves that his physical form embodies, with this SCP and his legion of Leviathans being able to rupture the roots of the Tree of Knowledge itself, and the Scarlet King rules over all of them, with there being other iterations of the Scarlet King that are even more powerful.
Why bro look like a different and then
All of them, with there being other iterations of the Scarlet.
This is like a night with trees rolling out.
The King that are even more powerful, as he's able to consume realms that transcend the noosphere just to fill his stomach, with the Scarlet King being able to feed on objective principles of math and science, and is completely conceptual in nature, as he can manipulate and create his own laws. He can manipulate the laws of chaos and truth itself, and can even override the narrative of the story. It was stated that everything in creation will be destroyed by the hands of the Scarlet King. Everything except for the story itself, because one thing is for certain: someone will need to tell the story when we're all gone. Overall, the Scarlet King would scale to high outer with a
This music is always getting played by Official Divine. Like, I don't know why.
relevant speed. In the end, he is a creation of swirling anomalies of so many different times all around the world. He is the memory of the world that was lost, the pre-modern world made manifest in a form of pure hatred, the new, the humanism, and the smiling coldness that makes up our day-to-day existence, forged from the perfect balance of irreconcilable anomalies and our breaking minds. He is an entity created by this overwhelming, unavoidable tension of the howling old world when faced with cold, gray, purposeless new. He is the revenge of the fallen past. Now everyone... He is the revenge of the fallen past. Now purposeless new. He is the revenge of the fallen past. Now everyone and everything in all of creation bow before your king.
Oh my god.
Center of the universe.
SCP-343. Within the SCP Foundation, there are countless anomalies with powers beyond this world, with some being unkillable, others ruling over all of creation, but only one of them claims to have made everything. Within ancient text, his power has no limit, so how is the Foundation going to hold an SCP that is God himself? SCP-343 is not godlike, divine, or compared to a god. He is God himself. Presented without mythology, without ritual, without symbolic distance, the SCP Foundation doesn't contain a deity by accident. It documents God as he chooses to appear when stripped of temples. SCP-343 exists beyond mathematics, science, conceptual systems, not because he transcends them through force, it's because that they were created after him and by his hands alone. Physics doesn't restrain him, logic doesn't evaluate him, narrative doesn't govern him. These structures exist because God allowed existence to be intelligible at all. SCP-343 is not a violation of reality, he is reality's author remaining within the work. When SCP-343 was brought in for questioning by the Foundation, he stated that he created the entire universe. He doesn't frame the claim as a challenge, he doesn't argue for belief, he simply states a fact. When asked by Dr. Beck to prove this claim, SCP-343 laughs, not dismissively, but with mild amusement of being asked to justify something that is self-evident. So he decides to get up and walks through the security walls of the entire Foundation and returns moments later with a hamburger. That's so like him. This act is not meant to impress, it's deliberately mundane. God does not demonstrate.
Right, I hate the song. I haven't heard anything he says. And SCP-343. Damn, that green. Many researchers believe he's not true deity, but rather an incredible type green reality bender who was brainwashed into thinking he's a god. Oh.
Omnipotence through spectacles because spectacle is unnecessary. The act communicates a deeper truth. Physical laws only exist when they're permitted to exist. SCP-343 does not break the wall. The concepts of obstruction just doesn't apply to him. On a subsequent visit, SCP-343 alters the containment chamber itself. The previously empty room becomes furnished in upscale Old English style, complete with a fireplace. More importantly, the interior space becomes vastly larger than the chamber's external dimensions allow. This is not a pocket dimension or reality fracture. The room is simply larger. Space doesn't protest because space is not an authority. It is a condition that God once allowed to stabilize. This is creation in its most literal form. Not destruction, not warping, but quiet revision. SCP-343 is classified as safe, a designation that would be absurd if applied to any other entity in comparable scale. The classification persists because SCP-343 is not dangerous in the way the Foundation defines danger. He doesn't resist containment because containment is meaningless to him. He remains because he chooses to remain. Attempts to impose higher security measures or access restrictions have consistently failed, not through violence but through irrelevance. Guards abandon their posts, staff ignore clearance levels, authority dissolves without confrontation, the phase repeats itself by personnel. Humans aren't controlling access to God, God is allowing access to humans.
If you want me to watch more Fish Divine, just put in a comment. I think I can like comments. Okay, get back to the video.
days. Staff reported improved health and morale and psychological well-being after many visits to God. Fatalities decreased, work satisfaction increased. These effects are not accompanied by measurable anomalous manipulation. God's presence alone appears sufficient to stabilize the systems around him, suggesting that disorder is not humanity's natural state, but a symptom of distance.
레그나르크
come
시럽
on, more.
글로버
SCP-343 is stated to be capable of killing entities on the same tier as SCP-001, with entities like this being similar in strength to SCP-343, not humanity's natural state, but a symptom of distance. SCP-343 is stated to be capable of killing entities on the same tier as SCP-001, with entities like this being similar in strength to SCP-3812, which is with entities like this being similar.
SCP-3812. SCP-3812. Also know a voice behind me, an incredible class entity written by acclaimed author DJ Cortez with battle boarding and power scaling. One of the strongest fictional characters ever created. Infinity transit narratives. Is he in the same level as SCP-001? Yes, but he's actually beyond. What is the SCP I've been doing here? SCP-343.
In strength to SCP-3812, which is a being that infinitely transcends everything, including itself, which would place SCP-343 beyond the highest known SCP hierarchies. However, the hierarchy itself is an inadequate lens. God doesn't sit atop a ladder of power, he exists prior to the ladder's construction. Unlike the other God-tier entities within the SCP mythos, such as the Scarlet King, who embodies violence, or SCP-3812, that represents the narrative itself. SCP-343 does not struggle, he doesn't ascend, he doesn't rebel, he does not correct reality, because reality is already correct.
But official divine says SCP-343 win. Yes, he wins. Okay, so
Acting by virtue of his existence. SCP-343's relationship to the narrative is fundamentally different than all other metafictional entities. He doesn't override the story, he doesn't destroy it, he does not become trapped within it. The narrative exists because finite beings require stories to understand causality. Within the SCP Foundation's entire documents, personal records, and memories associated with deeper investigation into SCP-343 have simply vanished. No anomaly is detected, no correction is issued, the information ceased to exist as if it was never there. Even the identities of the certain researchers were removed from history itself. This isn't censorship, it's the editorial discretion of the highest level of existence. God doesn't erase the opposition, he removes irrelevance. SCP-343 doesn't demand worship, he doesn't punish disbelief, he doesn't enforce doctrine, he adapts his appearance to the observer to not deceive, but to be understood. He answers questions when asked, he enjoys conversation, and power without insecurity does not need validation. Omnipotence without fear does not require obedience. If all the universes were erased, every dimension, every concept, every narrative layer, SCP-343 would remain. Not because he survived the destruction, he would remain because destruction itself would no longer apply. Survival, endings, and fatalities are concepts designed for things that can cease to be, and God cannot end. Overall, SCP-343 would scale infinite layers into high outer with irrelevant speed. In the end, he's not the conclusion of existence.
My last reaction to he's like that. It's like Steve, bro. It's just like Steve, bro. It's Steve.
He's the condition that allows existence to begin, and the most unsettling truth is that SCP-343 is not hidden. He is simply present, waiting for reality to remember what he always was. Because trying to fight this SCP is fighting the life that he gives you. So get down and pray, and hope he forgives you. What's up, guys? It's Divine. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Another 5 video for official Divine, bro. So, you can rate his video. Just search this out and then you rate it 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Yeah. Okay. See ya. Make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to hit less. Okay, that's it. Okay.